How you doing, Mr. Banks?
I'm getting yourself.
All right. I see. I was glad to see you made your way back to us today for our second session, and I just want to reflect on. I prepared a few things for us today, so we can assess and get some things ball rolling on some things you identified from our last session. Okay. But before we do that, I just want to make sure I had enough clarification on the things you have going on within your social systems, and so we can get together a plan that suits you to tackle the things you want to get done. All right. And so can you clarify me a little bit more about how you work within your family, like your family systems? Are you guys a strong bond, or is it more of everybody does their own thing?
So as far as my family goes, I would say that I have a pretty close-knit relationship with my family. I want the best for them as always, as any, father or caretaker. As far as my wife and my mother-in-law, I have a pretty strong connection with them as well. My mother-in-law, she helps me out when she can.
Okay.
As far as anything outside of my home, I have a pretty close connection with my neighbors. They usually help me find like odd jobs when needed, when I need to make extra money.
Yes, and so that you consider that a source of income along with the food stamps you receive from social services, am I right?
Correct.
Okay. And your mother-in-law, she's the one who, after you lost your job and you couldn't pay the rent where you guys were staying, she's the one who gave you the home in Smithfield, right? The
Correct.
Trailer. Okay. And how do you feel about that community? I know you said that you work well with your neighbors, and they give you money for odd jobs and stuff like that, and that's always a good relationship. But personally, how do you feel about them? Do you feel like they welcome you within the community, and as far as other assets they have and resources and stuff like that, do they link you to good things?
I would say it's okay. It's been a struggle. As far as, like I said, when it is time to do those odd jobs, because I've had experience within like the shipyard and things like that, I kind of feel, as if it's not enough. Okay. But I mean, it gets things done.
And I remember you talking about, your experience with shipyards and farms, and that's good to know that you do have some experience and you have a past of being willing to work for things. A lot of people deem that when they have to come here, they are people of a population who doesn't really have an initiative toward things. And
right.
I think you show a lot of those characteristics.
Right, and I have to have that, that ambition, that drive, because like I said, I am a family man, and I have a wife, and I have 6 kids, and also a baby granddaughter. So okay. I have to, be there for them as much as possible.
All right. Well, I think I'm really done with reflecting on the things that we've already touched on and stuff like that. I actually put together an eco map here so we can identify some of the social systems you have going on. And I put you, and we'll see, I'm going to actually give you a full presentation of what we're actually going through. See, in the middle here is you, your wife, your 6 children, and your 1 granddaughter. So everything outside of this is any social systems that you're involved in, and I'm going to name them and what they pertain to. And if there's anything wrong, I want you to let me know so we can clarify things and identify any issues for the next assessment process. All right. And I know you said as far as your neighbors, I put a strong relationship for them because you put time into them, they put time into you, they give you back money. All right. And because of your lower education level, sometimes it's hard to be able to retain information that's put in words, or it's harder to attain jobs and stuff like that, and right. It's harder to read and write, and it just makes you really selective of which jobs you have to apply for.
Right, which makes me very limited to certain things in the community. Like I said, as far as getting a job and maintaining that job, because I don't have that educational level, it's pretty difficult.
Okay. And your mother-in-law, so I put obviously a strong connection with her because she's giving you guys a place to live in a small spot where you seem to be settled and create a pretty nice home for yourself. And I think that's good because a lot of times with our family from marriage, when you guys aren't doing so well, they can blame it on the other spouse and things like that. But it's good you have a strong bond within that because everybody needs that social support.
Right. I mean, it's not the best. It's not the best home, but it's something. It's something we manage.
I like to hear that. I'd love to hear that. And obviously, being a family man with so many responsibilities and stuff like that, do you feel as though the pressures of about advocating for yourself and your wife and make sure all those people are okay, do you feel that it also weighs on you in any type of way?
It can be overwhelming. It can be overwhelming at times. Like I said, I stress the idea of being there and being able to support my family. Like I said, it's really great that my mother-in-law is there, but I would like to do things as a man myself, you know, to help my family out when needed.
And I know we had initially talked about when you first got here that we were doing this for the purpose of you obtaining some employment so you could do better for your family,
Right.
obviously, and everything's boiling back to the drive you have within you, which is a very good character, I must say. And do you feel like you want to get into hiring your education, getting your GED, and so serve an example for your children of different behavioral habits and stuff like that?
I would actually like to. I would like to, you know, pursue a higher education. And like I said, at the moment, it's just mainly just making sure that my family is taken care of and things like that.
Okay, so we believe me, whatever's important to you, that's what we'll go first,
Right.
and that's when, once we get down to evaluative things, and we'll tackle every single thing you need to your liking. All right. So let's talk about. I put together a little hypothesis here. I want you to see if this integrates within your life or not. I know we talked about your education level. Do you feel as though some of those things descend upon your kids? Like, do they have a really good interest in getting their education? How is their school life like and things like that? Like, do you feel that they take after you, or different behavioral habits, or?
I would like my children to not take after me as far as getting an education. I would like them to pursue their education because it's hard. It's hard.
Okay.
So I think that will make things easier on them as well, just growing up and developing.
Okay. Well, we can definitely. I think when they see the ball, a lot of times children, your parents are their first role models. So without them even knowing that they're gonna do things after them and stuff like that. So it's good to see that you are taking the initiative, and they're going to see that as well. So and I know we're talking about all the steps you would like to do and everything. I remember that you said the way you got here last time, you scraped up the money to get here. So as far as transportation, do you feel like it would be a problem if we got any placement further away from the home, close to the home? Like, how would you? Do you have any guaranteed transportation and everything like that?
As far as transportation, I'm working on that at the moment. I haven't really had anything that's really set in stone as far as transportation. I would like to, but I've been picking up odd jobs here and there just to be able to support my family, and being on top of that, it's the money that I do have left over, I kind of put it towards transportation, so it's been a struggle.
That's just fine. Believe me, we have many different people in your situation where they don't have reliable automobiles or reliable bus tickets or the way out into rural parts of the country. There are many different resources we have where we can give transportation to and from your job, and for your children, if they take doctor's appointments and things they need, anything like that, we can take care of it. Okay. So now, as far as clarifying your children, how do you feel as themselves? Do you feel like their well-being is safe with you? Like you feel like everything you need there that needs to be taken care of is being taken care of within the home? And like, I know you said you guys have a very strong bond, but some things, sometimes dealing with certain circumstances can bring across certain things that upset us that we don't really talk about. Is there anything you'd like to improve with their life?
With their lives, I would just say, like we stated before, just for them to get an education, and also just appreciate things a lot more.
Appreciate a lot more things. Okay, I understand that. I do. And now, as far as your goals and establishing a plan towards them, we've identified many different factors. All right. So, is there any exact fields that you feel as though you would want to get into? I know you said you have experience in shipyard and farming. So is there things that you want to stay within those roles, or do you want to expand your horizon or something like that as you get more education?
At the moment, I would kind of like to stick with what I know. I'm more competent in those areas as far as the shipyard and the work that it requires. So I feel as though I would succeed and be successful in that career if I do decide that I want to further my education and pursue that career in the shipyard industry. So I feel like that will help out a lot because it's what I know.
Okay. All right. So as far as our future evaluation and the steps that we're going to put in course and things like that, I think we can put you back within those limits. So it's something that you know, and it's knowledge that you obtain that maybe you can be an asset to a new company or something like that, or to a new agricultural firm, because you have so many things going on, especially a farm within your home as well. So you have a lot of different side things that are very good, positive in your life when it's such a crisis moment, and I'm just going to clarify all the social systems that you have going, okay? And your family is very close knit, and I know we are providing you with some food stamps and maybe one other resource that we haven't identified yet. So how do you feel as though those food stamps are enough for your family in such a large amount, or do you feel as though the food that you grow, I know it's the winter time as well, so you don't have many crops coming in. Do you feel as though those food stamps are enough to feed you and your family?
Not at the moment, like you said. I did have the small, the small
Okay.
farm that I was,
Okay.
maintaining. At the moment, it is kind of down season for me, as you should say. So I haven't had that extra food to put on the table for my family, so I'm kind of making it stretch.
Okay, I understand that. And it's a lot of different, as like I was saying, there's so many different resources that you remain eligible for. But when you apply for the program job, when you came here, being that your income is so at a low level right now, we can take care of many different resources for you. So as far as your transportation, we talked about getting you to and from work, and we can your benefits go under how many people you have in your house. So now that you have a granddaughter, you can add her to the list, and it will make you spend your funds that you get every month, so you can provide your family with that food, so you can be away working jobs, getting a better education, whatever so have you. All right. So I've identified our main focus plan is to improve you guys' economic status and the well-being of you guys' future. So establishing a budget and getting education with you and your family and things like that. Does that sound about right with you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that sounds good. And now, some patterns that I see within you and others within your social systems that you both look out for each other. Do you feel as though you can depend on your people within your family or people within your neighborhood to maybe take care of children while maybe they're on breaks or something like that while you're at work and your wife is at work or something like that? Do you think you depend on them for like care, or do you just try to keep it between you and your wife? Does she leave the home? Is she employed or something like that?
I'm not sure as far as keeping as far as the babysitting and things like that. Like I said, I do have a strong connection with my neighbors as far as them lending me odd jobs when needed. But I wouldn't want to put that stressor on them as well.
Okay.
As far as my wife, she does what she can, but I wouldn't want to stress her as much as possible. I like to be the breadwinner in the home. I want to provide for my family.
Okay, I understand. Now, we're getting to the last bit of our contracting phase. I'm gonna identify quite a bit of strength I see within your life. Actually, you show a very good initiative in trying to be a very careful man and taking care of your loved ones and making sure they have all the things they have going on, and you want to improve your current status right now, and you have connections within the community, to identify care and stuff like that, and you're a very willing worker. So those are all characteristics that can improve you and all the people that are within your life. So I think during our next phase, we can get your ball rolling on getting you placed in employment, and as well as getting you in GED classes, so we can get you your certificate so you can be greater expand where you want to employ as well. All right. Is there any problems with anything that do you have any questions or any assessment issues that you see that you may serve an issue? Transportation, relationship with me and you, any other factors that may make it so you won't come back here? Is there anything within our developmental plan that is not to your liking at the moment?
Not at the moment. No questions at the moment.
Okay, so do you feel as though this is what we're working toward, the issues that you prioritize the most, and you feel like this is the best plan of action to improve your current status? Okay, well, I appreciate you coming back with us, and I'm gonna, between our next session, I will be emerging in and getting in contact with transportation sources, a lot of different employment things that you're interested in, and as well, if you would like me to, I can get you things like some child care while you're away from home to give your wife a break, because I know with dealing with all the stress you have, she's your wife, so that comes along with her too. So if there's anything she needs, you can bring it into here with us, and we can talk all about it, okay? And if that sounds all right with you, I will be contacting you when we meet again. We will be talking about employment plans. If there aren't any, can we get some? But also we'll be going on to our GED programs and stuff like that. Those are guaranteed things, though. I can get you your first session so you can register and things like that. Does that sound all right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So in approximately 1 week, we'll have our third session. I think it'll go very well.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.